All right. It looks like we might actually be live now. Sorry if I'm 2 minutes late, guys. Had some technical difficulties in here, some Wi-Fi problems. It looks like we got 38 people on already, which is awesome. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. So for the next little while, we're going to talk no contact. And I am going to, actually, I'm going to get rid of my gum first. Excuse me, that's kind of rude. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about no contact just for the first 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to start getting into your questions. So please ask your questions anytime, because I've got my video guy Mike right here off screen, and what he's going to do is he's watching the chat, and he's going to pull your questions, and he's going to put them in an iPad document here so I can read them off on the second half of this video. So yeah, don't be shy. Ask your no contact questions, and I will get to them at the end. While we're waiting for people to join us, where are you guys from? Why don't you say what country, state, where you're from? Yeah, where are you guys from? I'm guessing there's going to be some, looks like we've got some people from India, maybe some Americans, perhaps. I'm showing my Canadian pride here in the background with my Trans-Canada Railway poster. But actually, it's one of the things that I love about this job is that I get to talk to people from all over the world, like 130 something countries, which is super cool. Most people in their whole life, they'll never meet or talk to somebody from Brunei or Azerbaijan, but I get clients from those places, which is awesome. So let's see what we got. Iran, that's very cool. New Jersey, Toronto, New York, another Iran, UK. Are those logs? Yeah, they are actually. I don't think they're real, but I'm just in a boardroom, a shared boardroom at my office here. So I didn't do the decorating, but Greece, ooh, that's cool. Jamaica, Alberta, right on. Hello, neighbor. Jamaica, Iriman. More Canadians. Maldives, very cool. Ohio, Lithuania, very cool. Mexico, mucho gusto. Philippines, right on. Ireland, New York. Awesome. I totally do love that part of my job, getting to talk to people from all over the world. So I'm not here to talk about countries or Italy. Hello, Georgia. I am here to talk about no contact and to answer your no contact questions. So if I may, first, let's just talk quickly about no contact. What is it? Why should you use it? What are some common mistakes people use? And when are some times when you should not use no contact? So basically, you guys know what no contact is, right? It's when you don't talk to your ex for around 30 days. It doesn't have to be exactly 30. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, but it's around 30 days. And of course, the point is, well, the main point is it's designed to help you get your ex back. But how does it work? So basically, there's a lot of things that no contact does. First of all, it stops you from doing anything stupid as a result of your, post-breakup emotions. So that's one of the most immediate and obvious benefits to no contact. Secondly, it forces your ex to have essentially what I call a cold turkey breakup experience. So instead of talking to them regularly and slowly, leaving their life, you're all of a sudden, boom, you're gone from their life. And that forces them to experience basically the worst of the breakup emotions. It forces them to experience the consequences of their decision to break up. And of course, this is going to ensure that they miss you as much as possible. So obviously that's one of the benefits. Another is that no contact is designed to help them, your ex, naturally forget about negative memories and logical reasons for the breakup. And studies have shown that those kinds of feelings, they start to fade over the 30-day period, and they actually peak around 30 days after a breakup. So it's all about really what I call resetting your ex to emotional neutral. They forget some of the reasons for the breakup. They just sort of let go of some of those negative memories, and they hang on to the positive memories longer. So that's obviously a good thing if you want them back. Another thing that no contact does is it blows up their expectations for what you are going to do after the breakup. So if you've been dumped, your ex has a very specific idea of what things will be like after the breakup and how you're going to act. And employing no contact is going to basically totally blow up those expectations. You're going to be doing something completely different from what your ex expected. It also it shifts the power, the balance of power in your favor. Because when your ex dumps you, you basically you have no power. Your ex has all the power. Whereas when you use no contact, you're shifting the balance of power back into your favor, and you're forcing your ex to feel sort of a fear of loss, right? No contact also sparks curiosity in your ex. So it's going to make them curious about what you've been up to and why you're so quiet after the breakup. And that kind of curiosity is a very good thing if you want the back. And finally, it gives you time to focus on yourself and living your best life, basically, which shows to your ex that you're awesome and that you're not waiting around for them to call them or call you or text you in hopes that they've changed their mind. And it also, by living your best life and doing exciting, interesting things after the breakup and during no contact, it gives you something to tell your ex about, to talk about with your ex once you do start talking with them again. So those are some of the benefits and the reasons why no contact is so effective. Now, if you guys are doubtful, skeptical about no contact, do me a favor, go to my YouTube channel, which you're obviously already on, and look at some of the videos that I've released in the past about no contact and some of the top comments. And you will honestly see so many people that have used no contact effectively. I promise it really does work. And in most situations, like I would say 95% of situations, it is the best thing you can do. It's the best way forward if you do want your ex back. So again, check out some of the comments on my past no contact videos on YouTube, and you will see so many people talking about how well it worked for them. All right, I see we got lots of questions coming in, which is awesome. Thank you, Nalini, for telling me I'm the best relationship expert. I appreciate that. I am, and like I said, guys, I am going to get to your questions in a minute. But first, I want to talk about a couple of common mistakes that people make when employing the no contact phase. Because really, if you want no contact to be as effective as possible, you don't want to make these mistakes. So the first mistake that I see all the time for my clients is ending the period of no contact either too soon or too late. So as far as ending it too late, there are certain circumstances where you may want to use a period of no contact that's less than 30 days. So the main reason why you'd want to do this is if your relationship with this ex was not very serious and only lasted a few months. So in those kinds of situations, let's say you and your ex were together for 3 months and you were dating casually, it wasn't very serious. In that kind of situation, you can probably get away with a period of no contact that's only 14 to 21 days in length, because going longer is it's not necessary. You don't want to go for 30 days of no contact when your relationship was only 60 days in total. So that's when you want to end it a little earlier. And then sometimes there's also going to be times where you might want to apply a longer period of no contact. And mainly that kind of situation is going to be when you've already made a ton of mistakes after the breakup. So you've begged and pleaded with your ex, they're angry at you, and they specifically told you that they want space and time. They don't want to hear from you right now. So in those kinds of situations, you can actually extend no contact past 30 days. And I recommend, at least 6 weeks in that kind of situation where your ex has specifically said, leave me alone for a while. Second mistake that I see a lot of the time is telling your ex explicitly that you're going to employ no contact. You're going to stop talking to them for 30 days. So you don't need to do that. I don't know why it is that people feel the need to tell their ex they're going to use no contact, but it's absolutely not necessary. In fact, I would totally not recommend that. Because if you tell your ex outright, hey, I'm going to stop talking to you for 30 days, it's going to feel to them like you're trying to punish them. You're trying to get revenge. So you really don't need to say anything. You can just start using no contact without announcing it to your ex. And the third mistake that I want to talk about briefly is being rude to your ex or ignoring important messages from your ex during no contact. So yes, you can ignore many of the things that your ex is going to send you or say to you during no contact, but there are times where you don't want to ignore them. So things that can be ignored, if your ex is just saying, hey, what's up, things like that, those kinds of things you can generally safely ignore at least once or twice. If it's more serious, more important, then you really do probably need to respond. So when I say no contact, I mean no contact unless you have to, essentially, right? So for example, if your ex is asking you, hey, are you going to pick up our daughter from soccer practice tonight? You probably should respond to that, right? You don't want to make your ex mad. You don't want to be an irresponsible parent, things like that. So yes, there are times and situations where you will need to respond if things are important enough that they justify or they really do need a reply. All right, that's 3 mistakes that I see all the time. Keep your questions coming, guys. I'll get to those in a minute. Now, I just want to talk quickly about a few exceptions, times when you do not need to use no contact. So this is something that people ask me about all the time. If you've checked out the comments on some of my no contact videos on YouTube, you'll see questions like this constantly. So what are some times when you don't need to use no contact, when you shouldn't use no contact? So first of all, like I just said, in situations where your ex is asking you about something important, hey, are you picking up our daughter from school today? Did you pay this month's rent for our shared apartment? Things like that, you can't ignore them, right? No contact, you can still apply it, but you can't ignore those types of really important questions from your ex because you don't want to be a dickhead and ignore them. So do respond to that kind of message. When you do respond, be upbeat, be to the point. Say, yes, I picked up our daughter from soccer practice, or I'm going to. No, I haven't paid the rent yet. Can I send you a check for my half? Things like that. Just answer the question, deal with whatever it is, and then go back to no contact thereafter. Second time, you may not want to employ no contact, or you may need to break no contact, is when your ex is getting angry because you're not responding. So if your ex is getting frustrated because they've sent you a bunch of messages and you haven't responded and they're getting angry, well, in some ways that's kind of a good thing, right? It means that no contact is working as intended, and they're curious what you're up to. But that is only good to a certain point. At some point, they're getting too angry and it's going to have the opposite effect to what you're hoping for. So if your ex is getting frustrated, getting angry by your lack of response, you probably want to respond with something just saying, sorry, I've been busy, that kind of thing, just to sort of let them know that you're still there, you're getting their messages, and you're not trying to be an asshole by ignoring them. Another exception is when it's been a really long time since your initial breakup and you haven't had much contact with your ex during that time. So sometimes I'll get coaching clients who have, it's been 6 months since their breakup. They were together for 2 years and 6 months has passed. And in the past 3 months since the breakup, they haven't spoken to their ex really more than once or twice. So in those kinds of situations, really you've already kind of applied a period of no contact, whether you intended to or not. So if it's been 6 months or more and you really haven't had much communication at all with your ex in the past few months, that's a situation where you can probably get by with either a limited no contact, of shorter no contact, or you may be able to just skip it altogether because essentially you've already employed a period of no contact. And lastly, and I do get this sometimes, when your ex says that they want to get back together. So this is really the only other time when it's totally okay to stop no contact or to avoid applying no contact, is if your ex is explicitly saying, hey, I would like to get back together, or hey, do you want to give our relationship another chance? In that kind of situation, yes, obviously you can respond. Don't be too eager. Don't send them a message, right away that says, yes, I'd love to get back together today. Be a little bit guarded, a little bit less eager, but go ahead and break no contact in order to follow up on that and get back together, because that's your goal, right? That's the point, I assume. All right, so that's my little spiel. I see you guys have asked a lot of questions, which is awesome. I have my iPad here and my video guy, Mike, he's shy. He's off camera here. Do you want to say hello, Mike?
Hey, guys.
I don't know if you heard that, but he said, hi, guys. But he's pulled up some questions, partly from the chat, and also he's pulled some questions from my Facebook and Instagram inbox. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, by the way, it's @BreakupBradBrowning. I would love to have you as a follower. Maybe I'll even follow you back. So I'm going to answer some of your questions. So keep them coming in the chat. And I'm going to look at the chat here and see. Hello, Bangladesh. Hello, Botswana. That's cool. Very cool. I really want to go to Botswana. I really want to go to Africa. Hopefully with COVID over sooner than later, I'll be able to do that. Okay, so first question is from somebody on Facebook, and Bahindra, and she, I think, asks, what if my ex texts me frequently? Should I just ignore him? Well, first off, if your ex is contacting you frequently during no contact, that's a great sign if you're hoping to get back together, obviously. If his texts are, how's it going, things like that, then you could probably safely ignore them, at least till the end of the period of no contact. But if he persists and he asks, again and again, why are you ignoring me? Do you hate me? That kind of thing. Then that's okay to just respond once and say you've been really busy and you're taking some time to yourself to get through the breakup. And honestly, since chances are he's the one that initiated the breakup, it's probably safe to do so. And he's probably going to understand. So yeah, it's a good sign, Bahindra. And you should ignore him up to the point where you feel like he's getting frustrated by your lack of response. And at that point, then you can say, sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I've just been busy, etc. Thank you for the question. All right. Rishi in the chat here asks, can no contact work more than once? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. It's an easy one to answer. Yes. Okay, here's another one. I'm not sure. Is this one I think is from Instagram? At Breakup Brad Brown. My ex is texting me about some stuff she left at my place. Obviously, I can't just ignore her. How should I handle my interactions with her? Yeah, agreed. You can't. If she's asking for stuff back that's at your house, you can't ignore her. That would be not very nice. So in that kind of situation, what you really want to do is take advantage of the opportunity to show your ex how positive and upbeat you are, how great your life has been since the breakup. So you want to respond and say, yes, you can come by anytime tomorrow after 4 and get your stuff. And then when you see your ex, you don't want to get dragged into any kind of extended conversations, any kind of drama, arguments. Just say, hey, good to see you. Hope everything's been good. Here's your stuff. Hope to talk to you again soon. Hope you're doing well, that kind of thing. But keep it very upbeat, friendly, and as short as possible. Thank you for the question, Atharva. No, that one is from unnamed person on Instagram. Let's move on to another Instagram one from Charlene. I'm on day 12 of no contact, and it's so hard to resist the urge to text him. How can I keep busy during no contact? You totally understand. No contact is really tough to stick with. But, if it's hard for you, think about how much harder it is probably for your ex, right? So, set goals for yourself. Keep yourself as busy as possible. Get a calendar, write day 30 down, and just count down every day until then. And just try to remember that what you're doing by employing no contact is giving yourself the best possible chance of getting him back. Okay, let's see if we've got another one here. Braxton from the chat. Braxton, I used her no contact and she said she wants to be friends with benefits now but doesn't want to date. Should I take what I can get and be friends with benefits? So Braxton, without knowing if you've already applied no contact or some of the other details of your breakup, that's a tough one to answer. Generally speaking, I would say sleeping with your ex, I'm assuming you're a guy, Braxton. Generally speaking, sleeping with your ex, if you're a guy and your ex is female, is usually a positive thing. It's usually going to help your chances. However, in this situation, because she's specifically asking to be friends with benefits but doesn't want to date, I would say no. I would suggest that you say, no, I would love to be in a real relationship with you, but I'm not interested in being friends with benefits. Because really, you can't give in. You don't want to give her exactly what she's asking for. You want to basically shift the balance of power in your favor and make her want you, but not give her what she's asking for. I hope that answers the question, at least to some degree. It's difficult, again, without knowing whether you've applied no contact, or you said you've used no contact. So that's great. But I still think, you should probably in that situation say, no, I wanted to be with you in a real relationship, but I understand that you're not interested in that. And so I think it's best if we go our separate ways. And now I know it's really hard to say, and it feels like you're hurting your chances by doing that, but you need to make her understand that she can either have you as a romantic partner, or she can't have you at all, assuming that's what you want. So hope that helps a little bit, Braxton. Thanks for the question. Okay. Here's another one from Alexander in the chat. And Alexander says, after no contact, how long do you text your ex before a meetup? That's a really good question. So I do recommend texting as the first, or messaging through WhatsApp or whatever, as the first type of communication after no contact. How many times do you need to text back and forth after no contact ends before you meet up in person is really going to depend on how well your ex is responding to your text, how well things are going via text. If you can just straight up ask her in the third text message you send, hey, do you want to grab a coffee to catch up after work? And you know she's going to say yes, then that's the kind of situation where you can just go ahead and plan that after only 3 texts. But if things are a little bit less cordial, if things are not going as well through your texting, then it might take longer than 3 messages. It might take, a month of back and forth texting here and there before you're at the point where you can just ask her to meet up. So I guess my answer, Alexander, is that really depends. You're going to have to gauge the situation for yourself and see how she's responding. If she's responding really, really well, if things in the chat seem to be going extremely well, then it might only take a couple of messages back and forth before you can set up that kind of meeting. But if she's not responding, very positively, then it might take a little bit longer. It might take, a couple of weeks of back and forth. So don't force it, don't push it, don't try to rush it. Just stick with it and try to read the situation and see when she's going to be into it. She's going to say yes. Thank you for the question, Alexander. All right. Oh, so many good questions in here. If you guys don't mind, keep them as short as possible, just so I can read them out and answer them as quickly as possible. It's going to increase the chances that I'll answer your question if you keep them short. All right, let's move on here to another one. I think this is also from Instagram. It's been almost 30 days since the breakup, and I think I'm ready to contact my ex again. What are the best sort of icebreakers that I should send him to get the ball rolling? That's another good question. So basically, how do I handle the first type of contact after no contact is over? Well, one of the best ways to re-engage is through texting, like I said. And I have a ton of those kinds of text messages in my program, The X Factor. So if you want to go to breakupbrad.com and check out my program, you'll see a bunch of good text message templates to contact your ex after no contact. But the essential thing is you don't want to just say, hey, how's it going? You don't want to be boring. You want to give them a reason to respond. So have a purpose, have an outcome that you're looking for. So, I've talked about this in some of my past videos, but you can even say something like, hey, I'm planning a trip to Egypt next year. And since you've been twice, I would love to get your input on where I should go and how long I should stay. So can we meet up for coffee next week? That kind of thing. Or you can just send a joke, a meme, something funny that's going to get your ex to respond. So keep it upbeat, have a purpose to your contact, and do not send a pointless text like, hey, what's up? How's it going? What you been up to? Those kinds of things, there's no reason for your ex to respond really, right? So have a purpose and be interesting and fun. Thank you for the question, anonymous person on Instagram. Let's see here. Here's one from the chat from MHTSOS. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yo, Brad, I really want to thank you for all the insightful knowledge and support throughout your videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And here's another one from Vise Cameron. How do you text an ex if they've blocked you after no contact? That's a really good question as well. Unfortunately, if you've been blocked, then your ex is sending you a clear signal that they need space. So my suggestion, Vise, is wait longer. Wait at least another few weeks before you try to reach out. If your ex is blocking you, that's a very clear signal that they're not interested in talking to you right now. So anything that you try to do to contact your ex when you've been blocked is probably not going to be well received. Now, that's not to say that your ex may unblock you in 2 or 3 weeks' time. They may not. But if you try to force it, if you get a new phone number or find another way to contact them through Facebook or something like that, it's probably not going to be well received, because blocking is a very clear sign that they want time and space. So, Avis, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you're in a tough situation, clearly, and you really can't force it. So I would just wait that one out. Hopefully in a month, she'll have unblocked you and you'll have the opportunity to reach out again. But as long as you're blocked, you can watch my video on that. I actually made a video, search my channel for blocked, and you can see the video that I made on that previously. But it's not a good situation. Don't force it. Wait until she unblocks you and she's more receptive to your messages. Thank you for the question, Vise. Good luck. All right. Costa Show in the chat says, if we break no contact, should we restart or continue where I was? Hey, Costa, that's a really good question. It depends on the details of your situation. If it was just breaking no contact because you had to respond to a message that was important for some reason, like the examples that I gave before about, if she's saying, who did you pay the phone bill? Then in that kind of situation, I would say, no, you don't need to restart no contact. That's probably not enough contact to justify completely restarting the 30 days again. If you've had like numerous back and forth conversations over a period of days, then yeah, you should probably add at least another week or 2 onto the no contact and sort of start again about a shorter period. But if it's just 1 or 2 text messages back and forth, then no, you probably don't need to start again. Hopefully that helps. If you want to discuss your situation further, please go to breakupbrad.com/coaching and sign up, and we can talk further about the details of your situation. Thank you for the question, Costa Show. All right. Shall we move on to another one? Okay, here's a good one. I think this one's from Facebook or Instagram. I work with my ex, so no contact is almost impossible. How shall I handle no contact here? So while you can't engage in full no contact when you have to see your ex at work all the time, you do have a big advantage here, because basically you're able to use this time to sub-communicate to your ex that you're turning a corner, and you're over the breakup. So really, it's a great way to show your ex that you've been thriving since the breakup. And although you can't do no contact, what you can do is limited contact and make sure that contact is positive. It's giving off the right signals to your ex. So maybe you talk about, hey, how my friend and I went skydiving last weekend, that kind of thing. Essentially, see this forced contact as an opportunity to talk about your awesome new life. Make sure you keep it positive, keep it lighthearted, keep it fun, and avoid getting into any kind of drama. Basically, just show your ex that you're killing it in life since the breakup. Yeah. Without knowing more details about your situation, obviously, I can't really give you any more detailed advice. So breakupbrad.com/coaching if you want to talk further. But essentially, limited no contact when you work with your ex, and use the opportunity to show off how awesome your life has been. Let's see. What else do we have here? Owen Ramirez in the chat says, what if by doing no contact, it causes my ex to move on and lose feelings for me? This is a question that I get all the time. Yes, it's always a risk in theory that your ex is going to get over you and move on in 30 days. But the reality is, I rarely see that. Most people are not going to completely get over you in 30 days. The only time that's actually a realistic scenario is when your relationship wasn't very serious. It didn't last very long. Otherwise, 30 days, it's not going to be enough to make your ex forget about you, move on completely from you. So I would say, Owen, in your situation, it's probably still the best bet. Unless your relationship lasted less than, 3 or 4 months, or it wasn't serious at all, you just went on a few casual dates. Otherwise, no contact is not going to be long enough to make your ex forget about you. I promise. Like I said earlier in the video, check out some of the no contact videos that I've made here on my YouTube channel in the past. Look at some of the comments. People talk about how well it worked for them. So in your situation, I'm 90% sure that no contact is going to be still going to be the best bet for you. And the reality is, most of the time, your ex is just going to forget about the negative things, the negative memories, the reasons for the breakup. They're not going to forget about you altogether. They're not going to completely move on. So 95% of the time, it's going to be your best bet. Hope that helps, Owen. Thank you for the question. All right, what else do we got here? I got one in the chat from Justin. Says, I scored 60 on your ex back quiz. Do I still have a chance to get my ex back? So, Justin, the quiz that Justin's referring to, breakupbrad.com/quiz, if you haven't taken it already. Unfortunately, Justin, 60 is not a great score. I would put that at the very low end of you might still have a chance. Anything below that, probably time to think about moving on. But generally, I would say your chances are pretty slim, unfortunately, with a score of 60. Doesn't mean it's completely over. If you want to talk about it, come up with a plan, go to breakupbrad.com/coaching, sign up, and we'll talk in more detail about your situation. But 60 is not a great score, if I'm perfectly honest. So probably think about moving on. All right. Thank you for the question, though, Justin. Let's see here. What else do we have? Fun Freak in the chat. I dumped my girlfriend a week ago. I begged and pleaded to the point where she was about to block me. She told me to stop and move on. I'm now doing no contact. Is there still a chance? Well, first of all, Fun Freak, I'm glad you got on the internet and did some research quickly after the breakup. It sounds like no contact is going to be absolutely critical in your situation. I would suggest you employ a full 30 days of no contact, because if she's specifically saying to you, I begged and pleaded to the point where she blocked you, so she's telling you to stop and to move on. In that kind of situation, you have to employ no contact. It's absolutely critical. Is there still a chance? Maybe. It's possible. I would suggest you take my quiz, breakupbrad.com/quiz, see what you score. See my personalized recommendations, but definitely in your situation, no contact is going to be critical. So employ the full 30 days, give her lots of time and space, make sure she knows that you're respecting her wishes. Thank you for the question, Fun Freak. Okay, here's another one. Jessica Workman in the chat. Does no contact mean no social media posts too? Jessica, by that, I assume you mean posts about your ex, or generally speaking, the answer to that question is no. You can still post on social media. As a matter of fact, I actually recommend posting on social media. Post a picture of the fun, guitar class you took last week, or hanging out with your friends at the beach, whatever. You don't need to stop posting on social media. If you mean posting things about your ex or on your ex's wall, I don't know if you can still do that on any social media networks, but that kind of thing I would avoid. You don't talk about your ex on social media at all during no contact. That would be my recommendation. But no, you can totally still post on social media generally. As a matter of fact, I think it's a good thing to do. Show your ex that you're out living life and that you're not just sitting at home waiting for their call during no contact. Thank you for the question, Jessica. Gosh, guys, I wish I could keep up with the chat here. But Mike, thank you for the good questions. Keep them coming. Let's see what else we got here. David Gormley from the chat. What if there's a mutual split, but the person tells you they still love you and miss you? Yeah, I'm assuming, David, that you're still in no contact when you've received those messages. My suggestion, if you receive that kind of message during no contact from your ex, is to say something like, I miss you too, hope everything is good. with you in response. Wait a few hours before you send that. But just a kind of general response to indicate that you're still around, that you're still interested in them, but not to give them anything more than that. The fact that it's a mutual split doesn't really change anything, I don't think. The fact that they're telling you they still love you and miss you, obviously that's a good sign, but don't get too eager and suddenly break no contact just because I've said that. Nalini, hi Brad, you are the best relationship expert. Well, you are awesome, Nalini, as well. Thank you. We appreciate that. Let's see what else we got here. This one from Instagram. How should I show my improvements / my awesome life if we're not following each other on social media? Yeah, that's a question I get quite a bit because I talk about, of course, I recommend posting about the awesome, interesting stuff you're doing on social media while you're during the no contact period. The only other way that you can get that kind of information to your ex is to set up a meetup or a hangout with mutual friends. So if you do have mutual friends with your ex and you can hang out with them, go for coffee, whatever, and just sort of subtly talk about some of the things you've been doing, the awesome, interesting stuff you've been doing since the breakup, that's great. Yeah, but beyond mutual friends, you're probably gonna have to wait until you get the chance to talk to your ex or see your ex after no contact is over. Good question, though. Let's see here. Okay, here's another one from Instagram from Ted. What if his friends / family members contact me? Honestly, that I assume you mean during no contact, Ted. So like your ex's mom is reaching out during no contact. You don't really have to treat them any differently. Just, politely engage with them. You don't want to shun them or be rude by totally ignoring them, but you also don't want to engage in extended conversations. Generally speaking, I would say, if your ex's mom reaches out during no contact to say, hey, how's it going? You can just say, wait a few hours and then say, it's going well, thanks, hope everything's good with you as well. The end. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, I'm going to continue this. I'm just going to run away from the camera for 1 second. Don't go anywhere. I will be back in 1 minute. Thank you. All right, sorry about that, guys. Just a quick intermission, but I'm sure Mike has pulled up many, many good questions since while I was gone. Okay, so we got one here from Costa Show, and Costa Show is asking, if I was only in a relationship for 1.5 months, is more than 30 days too long? Yeah, I think so, Costa. I think that's probably overkill for a relationship that was only 6 weeks long. I would suggest you adjust no contact to be 2 to 3 weeks in length. Maybe 3 weeks is probably a good target. Anything more than that is probably too long. But I mean, that answer only applies because you're saying you were only together for 6 weeks. If you were together for 6 months, my answer would be that 30 days is necessary. But for a relationship that only lasted 6 weeks, yeah, I think 30 days is a bit too long. So maybe go for 21-ish. Thank you for the question. Let's see here. Here's one from Atharva Sharmai. It says, I want my ex back. She texted me during no contact and said, I miss you, but now she is ignoring me. What do I do? That's a good question. Also a difficult one to answer without some more details about your situation. But if she's ignoring you, then no contact is critical, man. You really have to back off, give her some space. And it's great that she said, I miss you. But if she's ignoring you, then you're probably coming on too strong. So it's time to go back into no contact for another couple of weeks, give her some space, and then you can try again with a text message or a message of some sort with a different angle. But yeah, hopefully that works out for you. Good luck. Let's see, what else we got here? I think I've answered some of these, Mike. Maybe you can kill off the ones that I've answered. Sorry, bear with me, folks. Okay, here's another one. It's from Instagram, I think. I texted my ex-girlfriend last week. I asked her, hey, how's it going? And I haven't heard back since. I'm worried that I've blown it. Should I text her again or just wait it out? That's a really good question. Honestly, your ex, by doing that, your ex is sending a very clear signal that contacting her right now is inappropriate. So this is totally common. It might be the kind of situation where my clean slate email or text message will be appropriate. It really depends on the specifics of your situation. You can sign up for my X Factor program to learn more about the clean slate message or watch. I think I made a YouTube video about that about a year ago. So check my program out or that video or both to see if that's appropriate. But really right now, your ex holds all the power. So you really do need to flip the script and reset things. So I would suggest you engage in no contact for a little while longer before you reach out again. Anytime your ex is not responding to you, it's a clear signal that you need to back off a little bit. You need to give them some space and some time. And of course, no contact does that. So thanks for the question, mystery person from Instagram. Okay, here's another one in the chat from Fabino. Sorry if I'm ruining your names and mispronouncing them, guys. But Fabian says, if I ran into my ex in public more than once, will it reset no contact or make her think I'm following her? Yeah, that's a good question. Generally speaking, the answer is no, it's not going to reset no contact. You might want to extend it by a week. Let's say you run into your ex at the grocery store on day 27 of no contact. You might want to wait an extra week after that before you reach out, just because I don't know, it might be kind of weird. But no, generally I don't think it resets no contact entirely. Will it make her think I'm following her? I mean, I guess that depends on, like, if you live in a really small town and you're just going to cross paths inevitably, no matter what, then probably not. If you don't live in a small town and it's just a crazy coincidence that you happen to run into your ex 3 times in a month, then maybe it'll make them think you're following her. So I would say, generally, just wait a couple of weeks after the last time you ran into her before you reach out. And make sure that it's clear that you're not obsessing over her and that you're not following her around, that kind of thing. Hopefully that helps. Thank you for the question, Fabian. Okay, here's another one from, I think, Facebook. I texted my ex, but she seems really not that interested. Her answers are pretty short, and it doesn't really sound like she really wants to talk to me. How do I handle this? In that kind of situation, it's clear that your ex doesn't want to talk to you right now. So I would just trust your instincts, give them some time and space. engage in no contact. Don't respond to any kinds of non-critical texts. Anything that's not crucial, important, ignore it. Don't respond. Really, like I said, anytime your ex is not reacting the way you want them to, not reacting positively to your messages, it's time to back off. It's time to give them some more space. Make sure they know that you're not, waiting around for them to text or call, that you've got other things going on in your life, and that you'll be happy to respect their desire for some space. Fun Freak scored 73 on the quiz. 73 is pretty good, actually. That's a pretty reasonable score. Sounds like you probably have a pretty good chance, Fun Freak. 75 for Paul de la Grave. That's pretty good, too. Yeah, I would say if you guys are scoring above 70 on the quiz, there's definitely a chance. The quiz isn't perfect. I've designed it to be as accurate as possible based on everything that we know about relationships and human psychology, but it's not perfect. But I would say if your score is over 70, that's a good sign. Here's another one. What if she owes me money? I guess that depends on how much money. Do you care more about the money than your relationship? If the answer to that is no, if she owes you $20 and you don't really need that $20, then you can probably wait until no contact is over. Forget about the $20 for now. Employ no contact. Follow the advice that I give in all my videos in my program. If the money is more important than getting your ex back, then, well, I'm surprised you're on this video, for starters. But also, then I would say then just ask her for the money. Say, hi, can I have the money you owe me? But yeah, really, I think it comes down to whether or not you value that money more than getting your ex back. What else do we have here? Hello from the Middle East. Hello. All right. Let's see here. Well, do we have any other new ones? Yes. My ex broke up with me because he felt neglected, like I didn't give him enough time and attention. Wouldn't no contact only confirm this? That's a really good question. Acknowledge the breakup, empathize with their desire to end things for sure, but send one quick text, saying you're sorry and that you'd be willing to put in the effort again if things could work out a second time. And then after that, engage in no contact. You have to kind of make it clear that there's another path forward other than breaking up and staying apart. That will give them what they're looking for, that kind of love and affection and time. You want to make it clear that you understand that was the problem that led to the demise of the relationship and that things would be different the next time around, and then engage in no contact. So hopefully that answers the question. That's an interesting one. Zachary Matthews, should I say happy birthday if it's been 2 months since the breakup? Oh man, if I had $1 for every time I got this question, I would be so rich. But it is a good question. The answer is, it doesn't really matter either way, to be honest. I would say if you haven't contacted her for 2 months, if you've been in a long period of no contact and you feel like it's really necessary, it's safe to just send a quick happy birthday message saying, happy birthday, hope everything's going well. That's probably fine. But it's also not necessary, unless your ex is the kind of person who's going to take it personally if they don't hear from you on their birthday, then I would say it's not necessary. But it's also pretty safe. As long as you keep it short, you just say, hey, happy birthday, hope everything's well. So thank you for the question, Zachary. Let's see what else we got here. Avis Cameron, I've been making new Apple ID account to message my ex. We have good conversations, but she blocks me after we say our farewells. What should I do? That's super weird. So she's talking to you, you make a new account, and then you have a good conversation, and then you say bye, and she blocks you again from the new account. Oh man, Avis, I would say probably stop that. Give her at least a month of no contact. if she keeps blocking you, it's not a good sign, man. You're probably going to want to think about moving on, unfortunately. It's weird that she engages with you, but she might just be stringing you along. So my suggestion is to, engage in no contact for 30 days, see if she blocks you again. But it's not a good situation, I'm afraid. I don't think making more Apple IDs and reaching out again and again is a good idea if she's blocking you every time. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Hello, Brad. This is from Nikhil Biswas on the chat. Hello, Brad. Love you so much. You helped 3 years back. Awesome. Glad that I was able to help you. And do visit India sometime. I would love to. I'm really looking forward to the end of COVID so that I can do some traveling again. And India is definitely on my list. Seems like a very cool country with a lot of different landscapes and things to experience. So I'd love to get to India. And thank you for the ego-inflating comments. Appreciate it. Okay, that's another one here from the chat. Cristiano Gotti. How's this for an ex dilemma? My ex contacts me every 3 weeks for the past 2 years. No lie. I never contact her. Weird. Yeah, I guess, Cristiano, you didn't really specify here whether you want her back or not. My guess is that you don't. If you do, it sounds like, there's been plenty of time to engage in no contact. So I wouldn't suggest you need to wait around or apply another period of no contact. You could probably just respond, see if she's interested in meeting for coffee. And then when you do meet up, flirt, build sexual tension and take it from there. See how it goes. If you're not interested in her, then I don't know. Don't respond, I guess. That's it. Is a weird situation, but if you want to talk more, sign up for coaching, breakupbrad.com/coaching, and we'll talk. Jasmine, hey Brad, what do I do if I have a class with this person every other day? I was in a relationship with this guy for about a month. A month is not very long. I'm going to say that's probably not a very serious relationship. Just make sure that any contact that you do have that's unavoidable in class is positive. Make sure you don't, actively avoid him. And just make sure that any interactions are positive and fun, and don't show your emotions around him. A month, probably think about moving on. If it's only been a month, the more serious the relationship, the more likely it is that he's going to want to get back together. But good luck, Jasmine. What else do we got here? Alexander says, I think this is another question from Alexander. My ex has a boyfriend and he get jealous of me. So what should I do? So your ex has a boyfriend and the boyfriend's getting jealous of you, I guess. And you want this ex back? I mean, when it comes to your ex's new romantic partner, 99% of the time, there's nothing that you can do or say about this person that's going to improve your chances of getting your ex back. So actively trying to interfere with their relationship is going to backfire badly. It's never going to work well for you. It's never going to improve your chances. I would just keep your distance. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be seen as though you're trying to interfere with their relationship in any way. If it's a rebound, then actually, if it's a rebound relationship, what you should do is search my channel on YouTube for Rebound and watch the videos that I've made about rebounds in the past, because that'll give you a better idea of how to handle that. If they're in a new serious relationship, then unfortunately there's not much you can do, and it's time to think about moving on. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news on that, but generally I'd recommend just avoiding any kind of interference with your ex's new romantic relationship. All right. I'll answer a couple more here, guys, and then I think I'll wrap it up. And we'll do this again soon because I really appreciate all you guys and all your questions. It's awesome. I wish I could answer them all. If you do have something really super urgent, please sign up for coaching. That's the best way to ensure that you get lots of my time and I can give you a proper response. But hopefully I'll do this again in a couple of weeks as well. Let's see here. What else do we have? Slate says, can I do no contact after 2 months of begging and pleading? We were in a relationship for 7 years. Slate, 7 years is a long time. It's a very serious relationship, obviously. 2 months of begging and pleading is not a good start. No contact is absolutely critical. Yes, I absolutely think that in your situation, no contact is going to be absolutely the best way to go. So yeah, I mean, if you've already begged and pleaded for 2 months, then no contact is going to be absolutely critical. You really need her to understand that sorry, I'm not sure if it's a her or a him, but you need them to understand that you're not going to do that anymore, that you're ready to move on, and just shift the balance of power into your favor a little bit. So in that kind of situation, absolutely no contact is your best bet. So I would start that today, right now. Good luck, and thank you for the question. Here's another one from Nikhil. No contact is the best. Trust me, I've tried it and it worked, but I had moved on by then. Please do sign up for his programs. Thanks a lot, Nikhil. I appreciate it. I agree. No contact is the best. It works. It's honestly incredible how effective no contact can be even by itself. Sometimes your ex will be showing zero interest. No contact. And later they'll be reaching out constantly. So have faith in no contact. It really is extremely effective strategy. Okay, I'm gonna do more, and then we will wrap this up. So thank you again for all these awesome questions. Music says, what if she gets frustrated that I'm not reaching out, but she's stubborn enough to not reach out first during no contact? Well, if she's stubborn enough to not reach out during no contact, that's fine. You can wait the full 30 days, and then you can reach out at that point. But really, you want to make sure that she experiences the worst of the post-breakup cold turkey treatment. So I would continue with a full 30 days of no contact in that situation, and then once it's over, then you can reach out with a text message, something fun, upbeat, not serious at all, and go from there. But if she's getting frustrated that you're not reaching out, that's fine. That tells you that no contact is working. And someone is telling me, my man Mike over there is telling me there's something wrong with my mic. So, and so are you guys. So I guess this is a good opportunity for me to end it and work out the mic problems for next time. Sorry if I didn't get a chance to answer your question. Thank you very much to everyone who joined, and I really appreciate all your support. Please go to breakupbrad.com/coaching if you want to work with me one-on-one and ask your questions. I'll be happy to answer them right away. And thank you again for joining, for subscribing. See you on Instagram @breakupbradbrowning. And thanks, everyone. I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.